Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to this tarot pick a card reading. So in today's reading we're going to be getting an idea of what they were feeling the last time they saw you. So what were they thinking, what were their thoughts, their feelings, all of that. We're also going to be picking some oracle cards at the end of this to get direct messages from this person, so make sure you stick around and watch that. As you can see, we have 3 piles here. We have pile number 1 with the clear quartz, pile number 2 here with the rose quartz, and pile number 3 with the amethyst. So go ahead and take your time, reflect on the 3 piles, figure out which one resonates the most with you. If you feel called to more than one pile, then by all means go ahead and watch both of the readings. There could be specific messages in there for you. And also I just want to say thank you so much for watching this. If you enjoy, please subscribe. I would super appreciate it. There will be timestamps down below so that you can go ahead and skip to your reading. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I'll see you guys in your reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 1. So this is your pile if you chose the clear quartz. This is going to be pile number 1. So first of all, before we get into the tarot reading itself, I want to go ahead and pull 2 cards here. One of them is going to represent you, and the other one is going to represent the other person, just so we can get an idea of what the energies are surrounding the situation and get some context. So this first card I'm going to pull is going to represent you. I'm going to place it right here. So who's pile number 1? What is their energy? What are they like? Okay, we've got the Ace of Swords. I'm going to go ahead and pull the other person's card before I get into this. So who is pile number 1's person in this situation? What is their energy? Oh wow, okay, we've got the 2 of Swords. This is interesting because obviously the Ace and the 2 come right after one another. So it does seem like this is relevant and like there's some sort of connection here between the 2 of you. So for you with this Ace of Swords, I'm getting the sense that a lot of this situation has to do with communication. So I feel like the last time you saw them, so there was some big conversation, I want to say. I think communication is going to be like a big theme here. So I feel like you, also the swords do represent air signs. So you and this other person, one or both of you could be an air sign. That's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So for you, I'm getting the sense that you may have been the one who sort of brought up this conversation, or you're the person who decided to confront the other one, or you're the one who decided that you needed to have some sort of conversation. So I feel like you were the instigator in a sense of, we need to sit down, we need to talk about this, we need to communicate this. So I feel like you were the one who sort of brought about this last meeting, and you were the one who wanted it to happen in a sense, or who decided it needed to happen. And then over here for them with this 2 of Swords, I'm getting the sense that they may have been a little bit less willing to have this conversation. It seems like they are maybe indecisive. This could have been about them needing to make a decision about something, and they are just sort of dragging their feet. So I feel like this other person was a little bit less excited to have this conversation and to communicate with you. Maybe they felt like they were being confronted, but I'm just getting the sense that this all has to do with them needing to make some sort of decision or them needing to, yeah, just decide to make some sort of move, and instead they're just sort of refusing to do anything and just staying stagnant. So let's go ahead and pull some cards. We're going to see, what did pile number one's person, what were they thinking or feeling during this last encounter? Okay, we've got the Eight of Wands that sort of popped out here, so I'll put that down. What was pile number one's person thinking or feeling during this last encounter? How did they feel the last time that they saw them? Okay, yeah, more of that stagnant energy that I was talking about. I'm going to pull one more here. Oops. Okay, that one really... that one fell all the way on the ground. Okay. Okay, so it's a little bit mixed here. Let me move this candle out of the way. Okay. Okay, so let's start here with this Eight of Wands. I'm getting the sense that, yeah, there is definitely some sort of... I feel like this last meeting didn't go exactly the way that this person wanted it to, and I'm getting the sense that they were actually tempted to reach out to you afterwards. So maybe it's the kind of thing where you all met in person. I mean, it could have been like over text or something, but I'm just getting the sense that once that last meeting was over, they weren't really happy with how it ended, and I feel like they wanted to reach out to you and talk about it. So it's interesting because at first I was getting the sense that, like, this first meeting they kind of seemed to be a little bit hesitant, and because it didn't go the way they wanted it to go, I feel like now they're the ones who want to reach out and talk to you and maybe clear the air, or sort of fix something that was said, or fix the way things went. I feel like the conversation just didn't go, or the meeting just didn't go the way that they really wanted it to, so I see them trying to reach out and talk to you about that. So it seems like now they're willing to communicate with you, and now they kind of want to talk about it some more. So I feel like I'm getting more of the sense that they wanted to reach out to you, but that they didn't. And then here because here we have the Six of Swords, and Six of Swords talks about walking away from something that doesn't really serve you. So I feel like this person sort of had that desire to reach out, but instead they decided to sort of leave the situation as is and walk away without saying anything, because they just sort of figured that it was over and done with and that they should start moving on. So I am seeing that they wanted to reach out, but they most likely didn't, because they were moving into the Six of Swords energy of just sort of leaving it alone and walking away from it. And then next we have the Hanged One. So this is more of that like stagnant energy I was talking about earlier, like not really making a decision, just sort of being still. This can also be a very spiritual card and like talk about doing a lot of inner work, doing a lot of reflecting. So this person may feel like they're just in a place right now where they're more so focusing on themselves. So after the last meeting, they were feeling sort of defeated, and they were feeling sort of like the best move was to just walk away instead of reaching out. And so now they've walked away into this period of time where they're just sort of focusing on themselves, and they're not really engaging with other people. They're more still. They're not really doing much. It seems like they don't have a whole lot going on right now. They're just focusing on themselves. So I think they feel like, because it seems like they're under the impression that you don't really want anything to do with them, so they've decided to just focus on themselves, is what I'm getting here. And then lastly, we have the Ten of Pentacles. So I'm actually going to pull a clarifying card on this. So let's see. What is the Ten of Pentacles? And get a clarifying card for the Ten of Pentacles, how pile number one's person is thinking or feeling after their last meeting. Okay, we've got the Four of Wands. So I'm kind of thinking here that this person's under the impression that if they work on themselves and if they focus on their own abundance, their own wealth, their own success, that that's basically either it'll lead to you or it'll just lead to something better for them, because right now they're in this really still period. So I see them not doing much, but it seems like they're planning for this future where they have a lot of abundance, a lot of wealth, a lot of success, a lot of happiness. So they do seem to be looking into the future and planning for sure. But I think this future could go either way as to whether they are doing this hoping that you will see it and sort of come back to them, or whether they're just doing it for themselves. But either way, they're definitely planning on making moves soon and getting out of this stagnant energy. I feel like this does revolve around you, because we're asking here how they were thinking and feeling after your last meeting. So I feel like this Ten of Pentacles and Four of Wands, I feel like they have a lot of hope for the possibility of you two reconnecting, fixing things, and having all this success together. I feel like they still have hope. They are not completely lost yet. They were definitely in that place before where they were thinking it was completely done, completely over, and then after going into this reflective period, I see them planning more for the future and having more hope. And I feel like they can potentially see this success and abundance with you. They just sort of had to do some reflecting and have some alone time so that they could see things more clearly. But I definitely see them like actually planning to make some sort of change here. So next I want to pull some oracle cards. So these are going to give us direct messages from them, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, so we can see how this matches up to how they were feeling after your last meeting. Okay, it says, I feel you even though we are apart. We replay our conversations over and over. This is crooked. There we go. Let's see what else. So many things remind me of you. Okay, these are very like similar. This is a very consistent energy. This is not all over the place. So far, like I was saying earlier, it definitely seems like you guys are in separation with the Six of Swords. I feel like they're sort of confirming that right now, because they're saying that even though you guys are apart, they still feel you. It seems like they're still, like your energy is still present with them, and they can still feel that even though you are apart. It seems like you had a big impact on this person and on their life, so much so to the point that even if you are in separation, they can still feel you. So you guys may have like a very deep connection. And then next we have, I replay our conversations over and over. This is interesting because I feel like this has to do with that Ace of Swords, that Two of Swords. So whenever you guys last met, it seems like there was a big conversation, and I feel like this big conversation is what they play over and over in their head. I feel like they think about what you said, they think about what they said, they think about what they could have said differently, they wonder if they said the wrong thing, or maybe they're regretting some things that they said. So I feel like they just replay the conversation over and over again with, you know, substituting different outcomes. Like they'll sort of replay the conversation and they'll think, okay, what if I said this instead of that? Like, would things be different? So I feel like they really are stuck on that last conversation that you all had, whatever it was. I feel like that's what's really being brought up here. And then here we've got so many things remind me of you. So again, just the same energy over here. Like, even though you guys are in separation, it seems like they just, in their daily life, like everything reminds them of you. And it feels like they're just they're just really missing you, and they just see you everywhere. Like, whenever they go throughout their daily life, there are just things that remind them of you, and like memories that you had together, and they just sort of can't get away from it. It just seems like you're everywhere. It seems like you're everywhere here. So let me go ahead and pull one more here for what pile number one's person is thinking or feeling about the situation. Okay, we've got you were the best thing in my life. This is interesting because it landed on that 10 of Pentacles, 4 of Wands. So, and like before, I was kind of going back and forth because I was thinking like, okay, does this have to do with you, or is this them planning their own future alone? But with this card landing here, I'm definitely thinking that this has to do with you. Like, they want this future, this bright future, this abundance, this wealth, this success with you, because they're saying that, like, you were the best thing in my life, and once I sort of pull my life together, then you'll come back to me in a way. So I feel like they're definitely missing you, but I feel like they have a lot of hope for you all getting back together, because they are just convinced that, yeah, you were the best thing in their life, and that maybe even if you were to come back into their life, then these things would flow in more easily. But regardless, they definitely associate you with a really successful, like, beautiful life. They see that with you, like those two things go together for them. So yeah, there's that. I also want to go ahead and pull some cards. I want to get an idea of what they're planning on doing, maybe if they have any sort of action planned out here. Like, are they thinking about doing anything about this? So let me go ahead and pull some cards. So is pile number one's person, what are they planning on doing? What actions are they planning on taking? Okay, we've got this 2 of Wands. Let me pull another one. What is pile number one's person planning on doing? The Fool. Alright, so this is pretty clear. I feel like they are, let me move this up so you can see it. Okay, so with this 2 of Wands here, they are in a place where they are currently weighing their options. There's 2 paths ahead of them. They could leave you alone and forget about you, or they could come back into your life and try to talk to you, try to see if you'll give them another chance. So right now they're sort of weighing those 2 options here with this 2 of Wands. They're sort of looking down both paths and trying to figure out, you know, which one is for them. What is the yeah, and as I was talking, I just sort of flipped my deck over, and Judgment is on the bottom here. So this is the back of the deck. So definitely they are in the process of making a decision here. They're trying to decide whether they want to reach out to you or whether they're just going to leave you alone for good. So they're in that mindset right now. They're weighing their options, and they're trying to make a decision here. They're trying to use their best judgment to figure out what the next move is. And with this Fool here, I'm really thinking that they're actually leaning towards reaching out to you, because even though it may feel a little risky for them and they know that there's a chance it might not work out, it seems like it's a risk they're willing to take. So as they're weighing their options, I definitely see them leaning towards reaching out to you and leaning towards taking that leap of faith for sure. So that's definitely their energy here. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. I hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe it brought you some clarity. Just remember, if there's anything here you didn't like, tarot only reads for the present circumstances, so nothing is set in stone. You have the power to change anything that you want to. None of this is inevitable by any means, so just keep that in mind. I want to thank you for watching this. If you enjoyed it, I would really, really, really appreciate it if you would subscribe. It would mean the world to me. But yeah, I thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in another video. Bye. Hi, pile number 2. If you chose the rose quartz, this is your pile. This is pile number 2. So just before we get into the actual tarot spread, I want to go ahead and pull 2 cards here. One of them is going to represent you, and then one of them is going to represent the other person, just so that we can get an idea of the energies at play here, and we can get a little bit more context for the situation. So this first card is going to represent you. I'm going to put it over here. So we're going to be finding out who is pile number 2, what is their energy. Pile number 2. Okay, we've got the 4 of Pentacles for you. And then for the other person, who is pile number 2's person? What is their energy? The 10 of Wands. Okay. So first of all, for you over here, 4 of Pentacles. Pentacles does represent the earth signs. So you could possibly be an earth sign that's Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, but you don't have to be. That can just be the energy here. So the 4 of Pentacles talks about being very guarded, being very conservative, and being a little bit like stingy in a way. So I'm getting the feeling that this has to do with you're very guarded in terms of like emotions. I'm not getting the sense that this is necessarily about like material stuff, because that's not really what we're talking about here. So I feel like you as a person may be a little bit guarded. You may have sort of a wall up. You may have a hard time letting people in. I'm just getting the sense of like you play your cards. What's that saying? Like you keep your cards close to you or whatever. Like you don't necessarily let people know exactly what you're feeling or thinking. You keep that to yourself, sort of in an attempt to protect yourself. And you also probably have a hard time letting people in. But I feel like this has to do with fear. It's like out of fear. It's like self-preservation more than anything. It's not, yeah, it's self-preservation. So this is you. And then here we've got the 10 of Torches. So the Wands, this is the Wands. Wands represents fire signs. So that's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. They could be one of those. They don't have to be. But the 10 of Torches talks about carrying a really heavy burden, not asking for help, just doing everything by yourself. So this is the other person's energy. I feel like this other person maybe has been carrying a lot. This could be just, you know, things that are happening in their own life that they've been carrying, that they have not told people about, that they haven't asked for help with. This could have to do with you. Maybe they feel like they're carrying, you know, a lot of the weight of the relationship, or they're carrying the burden of the connection on themselves because you're not willing to open up. So either way, I just feel like this person is sort of overwhelmed and they're reaching a breaking point. They're just sort of getting to a place where it's all going to fall apart very soon if they don't ask for help, or if they aren't open about what's going on here. So Now let's pull some cards to get an idea of what this person was thinking or feeling after the last time they saw you. What was going through their head after this meeting? Okay, yep. 9 of Swords. Let's get another one here. Pile number 2's person after their meeting. Whoops. Okay, these two sort of jumped out. So we've got those. And I'm going to go ahead and pull, I think one more would be good. Pile number 2. Yeah, okay. This makes sense. So, first of all, we got the 9 of Swords. So this person was very upset after your last, meeting. I feel like maybe it didn't go super well for them, or maybe it was just sort of a lot for them to handle. I see them being really stressed, really anxious, really overwhelmed. They could be losing sleep. They could be, staying up and replaying the conversation in their head. I just see them being very, just really, really stressed, really distraught, anxiety, a lot of anxiety for sure. So much to the point where, like I said, they cannot sleep. I feel like they're just constantly thinking about it. They're constantly going over, the last conversation or the last meeting. And, yeah, I think it's really upsetting them for sure. Definitely a lot of stress here. And then next we have the Ace of Cups. So I feel like the reason that they're so stressed or anxious about this is because the connection meant a lot to them. I see a lot of deep emotional connection here. Whatever the nature of the relationship was, they're very attached to you on a deep, deep level. This didn't seem very surface level. It seems like they had a very deep attachment to you. I'm also getting the feeling that maybe they wanted a new start in the relationship, or they wanted, some sort of fresh beginning, and maybe they didn't receive that, and that's what's upsetting them so much. But whatever it was, they were very emotionally invested in this, and because of the way the last meeting went, it really upset them. With this 7 of Cups here, I feel like they're also very confused. The way you guys left things could have been sort of unclear or ambiguous, and I think they are not really sure what to think. I think part of them is trying to interpret it to mean something else. They're trying to find a way to make it mean what they want it to mean. But I feel like they're just very unsure of what exactly is going on here. Maybe they're kind of confused. And I just see them not being able to come to terms with whatever happened. I'm getting a lot of confusion here. So I feel like part of this 9 of Swords is them thinking about what happened and trying to interpret it in different ways, to really piece together what went down. I think they're trying to find some closure by doing this, and it's like they're thinking of every possible way that this could be interpreted and trying to find some sort of closure in that. But all it's doing is confusing them even more. And then lastly here with the 7 of Wands, I see this playing out one of two ways. I see this being whatever happened, they were very hurt by it, and now they're going to sort of do what you've been doing, and they're going to put their defense up. They're going to build a wall, and they're going to sort of try to stick up for themselves in a sense. They don't want to be pushed around. They don't want this to happen again. I feel like they're starting to get to a place where it's they're ready to build a wall up and sort of close everyone off. And it's almost like this feeling of it's like I can't, like they're really mirroring you. Like this is your energy, that closed off energy, and they've just gotten to a point where they're like, fine, if that's what you want to do, like I can do that too. So now they're starting to build up their defense, and it seems like they're getting to a place where they're going to sort of mirror your energy and become that closed off, emotionally unavailable person. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards here from an oracle deck so we can get some more insight, some direct messages from them on their thoughts and feelings. So let's see, what does pile number 2's person, what are they thinking and feeling after this meeting? Okay, we've got, I know that I crossed the line with you. Yep, sometimes I stay awake thinking about you. That's exactly what we said over here with this 9 of Swords. Let's do some more. I don't react when people mention you. We'll do one more. Okay, we will be together again. All right, so let's talk about this a little bit. So I'm really getting the sense that this has to do with, you know, your last meeting or your last conversation. I think this person said something out of anger or out of hurt that they are now really regretting. So, you know, when like you're in an argument with you're in an argument with someone and you'll just say something like completely out of pocket, and like as soon as it comes out of your mouth, you're like, shit. Like I should not have said that, but like it's already out there, you know what I mean? You can do something because you could like apologize, but it's like as soon as it comes out of your mouth, you just regret it. And it's something that you would never really say. It's sort of out of character for you, but it's because you're so angry or you're so hurt. I feel like this is what happened here. In the last conversation, this person said something or did something that they're looking back and they really regret, because I feel like it was out of character for them. So that's the first card here. And then next we have sometimes I stay awake thinking about you. This is completely 100% that 9 of Swords energy here. The person is staying awake. They're replaying the conversations. They're thinking about you. They're thinking about maybe what they said, what they did, what they should have done differently. Maybe they're thinking about whether or not they should reach out. But I just see them staying awake, losing sleep, being anxious, being overwhelmed, and just thinking about you and anything that has to do with, you know, your connection. Maybe they sort of replay old memories, or I just see it like they just are obsessively thinking about this, like they can't let it go because of this Ace of Cups, this deep emotional connection. I feel like it meant so much to them that they're really hurting and they can't let it go, and the only way they can feel better is just to think about you and think about their relationship. So it's kind of sad. It's just like a very sad, like deep hurt. And then next here we have, I don't react when people mention you. So I feel like this person's trying to sort of play it cool as they sort out their feelings. If people bring you up or they ask, you know, how you are or how the relationship is, they sort of put on a poker face and they try to not give too much away. I feel like they're trying to play it cool and just be like, oh yeah, whatever, I don't know what they're up to. And they're not letting people see the truth behind this, which is that they're very upset. So yeah, this person could be putting on a brave face. And I feel like this could go beyond just when people mention you. I feel like maybe if they're active on their social media right now, they may be pretending that everything's totally fine. And you sort of look at that and you're like, all right, well, I guess, you know, they're doing okay, but I just don't think that's the truth. I just feel like they're putting up a front. And then lastly here we have, we will be together again. So again, I feel like this person is still holding out hope that you will get back together. Yeah, there's some part of them that wants like a reconciliation, but I'm going to pull some more cards here because I want to get an idea of what exactly they're planning on doing, because where we left off here with the Seven of Wands, it felt like they were ready to build a wall up. So that doesn't really match up with this idea of being together again. So I feel like they're sort of torn, because on one hand, they want to build up a wall and cut you off and move on and, you know, play it cool. But on the other hand, they want to get back together. So let me pull some cards here to see what pile number 2's person is planning on doing. What actions do they plan on taking? All right, we've got the Four of Cups. And one more. Oops. The Tower. Okay. So with this Four of Cups, I still see them. I feel like people in their life have tried to convince them to move on. Maybe they've tried to set them up with someone else, or maybe they've just been sort of encouraging them to get back out there. But I feel like they're sort of not interested in that other stuff because they're still thinking of you, and they're still thinking of their relationship with you. I feel like they're just sort of refusing to look at the other possibilities here. They just seem very hung up on this past situation with you, and they still seem to be processing it and trying to come to terms with it, and as a result they're not ready to move on. They're not interested in moving on yet because they're still trying to figure out whether or not there's a chance to I think put this back together. And then we have the Tower. I'm actually going to pull a clarifying card for the Tower here, because this could be a few different things. This is basically just like a huge change. The Tower represents big life-changing event. But let's see, what does the Tower represent? Get a clarifying card for the Tower. Whoops. We had the Nine of Pentacles popped up, but I'm going to pull another clarifying card here. So we have the Nine of Pentacles. What else? Page of Wands. All right, this person is, I feel like whatever the last meeting you guys had really sort of turned their world around. I feel like it was a big change. It caused like a lot of turmoil for them. And as a result, they've been sort of like thrown for a loop. They are, I don't know, I just feel like their entire life changed, their entire world changed, and now they're trying to figure out how to come to terms with it. So like I said, it seems like they're trying to find a way to get some closure here. But also, I feel like I see them becoming more independent as a result of this, once they get over all of this, like, once they get over the initial aftermath of this Tower moment, I feel like they're going to step into their power more and become more independent. Maybe they were like a very codependent person in this relationship. They may have been like super needy. So I almost feel like this had to happen so that they could learn how to be independent and how to be by themselves, because part of this just seems like really codependent, very needy. And it's almost like this Tower moment had to happen in order for them to step into this Nine of Pentacles energy, which is very independent, very self-sufficient. So I feel like they needed more of that in their life. So the universe sort of sent this Tower moment to force them to do that. Even though it seemed very painful, I think it was for the best, for sure. And then we've got this Page of Wands. So once all of this is over, I feel like this is sort of like a timeline. So they're going to deal with this aftermath of the Tower. They're going to become more independent, more self-sufficient, and get rid of some of those codependent tendencies and get rid of some of that neediness so that they can be better suited for like a relationship. And then I see them, yeah, starting over again, starting new. And because it's the Wands, I see this being a new relationship. This could mean a fresh start with you. This could be just a new relationship in general, but I see a fresh start here. But it can't happen until these other steps are completed. So it seems like this person kind of has a long road ahead of them because they're still in that sort of denial phase. They haven't yet even gotten to this Nine of Pentacles energy, so I see this being sort of a long process for them because they need to come to terms with it before they can even start working on the rest of this. So yeah, that's what I see for them for sure. And yeah, that's everything I have for you. I hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully it brought you some clarity. Just remember, if there's anything here that you didn't like, tarot only reads for the present circumstances. Nothing is set in stone. Nothing is inevitable. You always have the power to change the outcome of your own situation. So if there's something here you didn't like, don't worry about it too much, because a lot of this is free will. So things can be changed for sure. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. It would mean a lot to me. And yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in another video. Hi, pile number 3. This is your pile if you chose the amethyst. This is pile number 3. So first of all, I just want to start off with 2 cards here. One will represent you, one will represent the other person, but I just want to get an idea of the energies here. So we're going to start off with you. I want to ask, who is pile number 3? What is their energy? What are they like? Pile number 3. Okay, we've got the star. Next, I want to get a card for the other person. Pile number 3's person. Who are they? What are they like? Queen of Torches. Okay. So for you, let's start with you. We've got the star. The star is the Aquarius card, so that could be relevant. You could be an Aquarius or have Aquarius placements. But basically the star is talking about someone who's creative. It talks about self-love. It talks about compassion. You can see there's like water here in this picture, and in tarot, water just represents emotion, love. So I feel like you're the kind of person who has a lot of love to give to other people. This overall is just like a really positive, beautiful energy. This is just someone who is really in their power because they have that self-love, and because they love themselves, they have plenty of love to give to other people too. So yeah, someone who's very creative, compassionate, kind, empathetic. So that's you. And then here we have the Queen of Torches. So don't worry about like the gender binary here. The Queen of Torches just represents someone who is very energetic, very passionate, again, very sure of themselves, someone who's very much in their power, who speaks their mind. The wands represent fire signs, so it could be a fire sign, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, but this is just overall someone who is very much in their power, who knows their worth, and they don't really take, what's the word? They don't really take, they don't allow people to mistreat them, basically. They're very much willing to cut people off if they need to. So that's you and them. So I want to get an idea. Let's pull some tarot cards of how was this person feeling the last time you saw them? Your last meeting? What were they thinking? What were they feeling? Okay. Yeah, right off the bat, Ten of Swords, starting off strong. Let's keep going here. Temperance. Pile number 3's person. Ten of Cups. Okay, interesting. And let's do one more. Oops. Ace of Swords. Okay. I think I see what's going on here. So I'm getting the feeling that there was some sort of ending between the two of you in the recent past. Some sort of separation or breakup or argument. There was something here that made this person believe that it was sort of over, and that they had no chance with you. It was done and completely like could not be resuscitated, like it was over. But then it's like, I feel like this was the energy maybe going into it, but I feel like afterwards, after this recent meeting or this recent conversation, it brought them a lot of hope, because we've got Temperance and the Ten of Cups here. Temperance talks about being patient, not forcing things, going with the flow, and then reaping the benefits. So like Temperance sort of tells you that there will be a good outcome here, there will be a positive outcome, but you need to be patient. You can't force anything. You need to allow things to flow and try to be as flexible as possible and as patient as you can. And then we've got the Ten of Cups here, which talks about complete emotional fulfillment, complete happiness, like a really fulfilling partnership. And so I feel like this person has some sort of renewed sense of hope, because where they thought it was sort of over before, after this meeting, they're sort of getting the sense that there is hope here. And if they are just able to sort of embrace this Temperance energy, the Temperance is a Sagittarius card, by the way, but if they're able to embrace this Temperance energy and be flexible, be patient, they think that they can reach this Ten of Cups with you. So I see them having a lot of hope here. They see a lot of potential for the future. They see you guys, getting in this partnership that's like very long term, very deep, very emotional, very loving, fulfilling, and having this sort of happy ending. You can see there's like the couple and their kids. I feel like they're looking towards that. And they have this sort of hope. And then lastly, there's the Ace of Swords here. So I feel like they will be reaching out to you again. I feel like they want to communicate with you some more. They want to talk some more. I'm also getting the sense that they think this is a new chapter in terms of like they're thinking, okay, from now on I'm going to communicate more. I'm going to talk to them more. I'm going to be really open and honest. So I see them reaching out to you again and trying to have another conversation, because I think they're under the impression that if they can just communicate with you more, everything will be good and they'll be able to get this outcome that they want. But for them, they seem to think that communication is key, and talking to you is the best way to sort of secure this outcome. So next I'm going to pull some oracle cards here to get some more ideas of what they are thinking and feeling now. Some direct messages. So what is pile number 3's person thinking and feeling now? Okay, I hope that you can forgive me one day. Ooh, you don't know how hard it was to let you go. And that's on top of the Temperance card, so we'll talk about that. I know I was a distraction from your pain, and we'll do one more. Sometimes I stay awake thinking about you. Okay, so we're going to talk about these and also sort of where they landed here. So the fact that we've got this, I hope that you can forgive me one day, on top of this Ten of Swords, I think is very relevant. So I feel like this ending that I was talking about earlier, this separation, happened because they did something. They did something that caused this breakup, this separation, this conflict. And they're at the point where they know the only way to move forward is if you find it in yourself to forgive them. So at this point, they're sort of sitting with this ending and this loss, and they know that their only chance of moving forward is for you to forgive them. So right now they're in that place where they're just really hoping that you can forgive them one day. I think they really regret whatever it is that they did. But yeah, I see a lot of regret here, a lot of remorse, and a lot of hope for forgiveness. And then here with this Temperance card, we've got, you don't know how hard it was to let you go. So I feel like part of this person's process of being patient and going with the flow was actually stepping away from this relationship and letting go of you. I think that was sort of like their ultimate act of, okay, you know that saying, like, if you love something, let it free. I feel like this is exactly what they were doing here. They were trying to practice this temperance energy, and even though it was really hard for them, and even though they didn't want to, they let you go because they knew it was the best move at the time, and because they knew they had to step into this temperance energy, this patience, this flow, in order to eventually get the outcome that they wanted. So they knew that the only way to move forward was actually to let you go, and that was really hard for them. And then over here we've got, I know I was a distraction from your pain. So I think this card, whenever it pops out, I don't really read into it too much for what it is. Whenever I see this, it more gives me the sense of like a victim mentality. So a lot of times I see this when people are trying to justify something that they did that was wrong. So I feel like this person is sort of trying to play the victim here and say that they were only a distraction, or maybe they didn't mean that much to you, so as a result what they did wasn't so bad. So I think there's a small part of them that's still sort of trying to get out of taking accountability here, and they need to get over that. They need to let that go if they want this Ten of Cups outcome. So, I mean, who knows, maybe there's some sort of like background to this, but either way they have to let go of this mentality if they want to actually pursue something. So I feel like that's the one thing holding them back here. They've done really well with this other stuff, this letting go and whatnot, but there's still a small part of them holding on to this like victim mentality, and they need to let that go before they can actually move forward here. And then last we have, sometimes I stay awake thinking about you, and this landed on top of the Ace of Swords, which makes me think that they specifically stay awake thinking about conversations that you've had, either past conversations they stay awake and think about, but I also think that they stay awake thinking about future conversations that they want to have with you, because like I said, I see them reaching out to you and communicating with you. So I think they stay awake planning on what they're going to say specifically in these conversations. They're sort of trying to play it out in their head and figure out what the best way to go about these conversations is. So yeah. And lastly, I just want to pull some cards here to get an idea of what this person is planning on doing here, if they have any actions that they are going to take. Oh my god, that one keeps popping out. Okay, I'm gonna put that down while I keep talking. But I was Yeah, the first time it popped out, I thought it was an accident, so I put it back in, but it just popped out again. So I'm just going to put that down and keep saying what I was saying. Yeah, what is this person planning on doing? Any actions they're planning on taking? What is pile number 3's person planning on doing? So we've got the Hierophant, first of all. Put that up there so you can see. What else do we have? The Hierophant. The High Priestess. Okay, let me do one more. These are both major arcana, so whatever they're planning, I think it's I think that's pretty big, and they're pretty let's see here. 10 of Wands. Alright, so with this Hierophant that kept popping out and insisting on coming out here. Hierophant's the Taurus card, if that's relevant at all, but so with this Hierophant here, I feel like for the most part they want to play it safe. They think the best course of action here is to continue to be a little bit more reserved. They don't want to be too bold. I feel like they don't want to get in your face too much because they're still trying to practice this temperance energy. So they're going to be present, but they're not going to be like completely in your face, like with a boombox outside your window crying. Like they're going to be more reserved. They're going to play it safe. They're going to be there, make their presence known, but they don't want to be overbearing. I feel like they want to keep in contact with you and kind of feel things out some more. And then with this High Priestess, I also see them following their intuition a lot. I think they are, yeah, again, I'm just getting this feeling of flow. They are going to feel things out. I feel like they're not making a decision right now because they want to continue to see how things go and see how things feel before they make some sort of big move. So I see them continuing to just stay very stagnant and just be really low-key. I feel like they're still feeling it out. They're not making a decision right now. They're not forcing anything. They're just trying to sort of, you know, dip their feet in the water or whatever and try to feel out where you're at and how you're feeling. So I just see them, again, being present somehow, but not making any big moves just yet. I see them keeping in contact and feeling things out. And then lastly, you've got the 10 of Wands here. So I feel like this approach of being very like reserved is actually kind of hard for them. This may be sort of different from their normal character, or maybe it's just hard for them to sort of carry this around without actually telling you how they feel. Because like I said, it seems like they really want to get back together, or they want some sort of happy ending here, but they know that's not the best move right now. They're actively choosing not to get in your face or overwhelm you, so they're really trying hard to play it safe, but it's hard for them because they're carrying this burden of their feelings and their emotions, and it's a lot for them to carry and hold in. But I just see them staying in this energy for sure. I feel like they're just gonna keep carrying the burden because they know that this is what's best for right now. So yeah, that's all I have for you. I hope it resonated. I hope it brought you some clarity. Just remember, if you didn't like anything you heard here, tarot only reads for the present moment. So nothing's set in stone. You can always create a different outcome. Nothing's inevitable by any means. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed. If you did like this, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. It would mean a lot to me. And hopefully I'll see you in another video.